Hi, I'm Varina Patel. I'm a wilderness photographer and this is awesome. I love it out here. So I'm going to talk about what's in my bag, and we'll start with the top compartment. So this is my f-stop Loca bag. Sunglasses, in case it's too bright while I'm on the road. They're polarized. A lot of people like to wear polarized sunglasses so they can see what a circular polarizer is going to do. I actually prefer not to do that, but if you like that, cool. Little flashlight for light painting, or for walking back in the dark after a shoot. I also have a headlamp in case my flashlight doesn't work, because you don't want to be stuck out there. Some of these places have no light whatsoever, and on a cloudy night, you're not going to be able to see anything. Toolkit from Enduro for my tripod. Seems like a good time to mention that. I always carry my tripod. Sometimes it's strapped to the side of my bag. A lot of times I'm just carrying it in my hand. But the toolkit comes with, you know, the stuff that I need to adjust the tripod, and also lens cleaning wipes. I put those in there, and I have a teeny little screwdriver in case those tiny little screws on my lens start to come out. I'll use that. And it comes apart, and I have, you know, all those teeny tiny little screwdrivers in there, so that's great. I also have a very tiny little tripod that I use to hold my my iPhone if I'm doing short videos. So that's kind of cool. And you know, you just set it on a log or something, it works perfectly. Okay, I also have a first aid kit in here, and that is packed with Band-Aids and medications and whatever it is that I might need on the road. A lot of times we'll carry a bigger first aid kit in the car. This one comes with me in my bag. I also have sunscreen, because I am pale and I don't want to be red. I have a bunch of business cards. We get a lot of questions while we're on the trail. I like to be able to answer people and give them a business card. It's good marketing. And I have a compass, because you never know when your GPS might stop working. Learn to read one, carry it with you. In the next pocket down, I have my jacket. A lot of times I will have this one wrapped up in here. I'll have another one on the side. Sometimes I even have a third one. It just depends on the weather. If I'm looking at really cold conditions, that's the most important thing. I also have in the front pocket a rain jacket in case it rains, obviously, and rain pants too. Those are actually great for windy conditions too. Just having a layer to block the wind can be enough to keep you warm when it's cold. I carry very warm gloves, which have a finger flap, so that I can actually use my fingers even when it's cold for the tiny controls on my camera. I love those. And I have a warm hat. I actually have a second hat in here that I use either as a liner or for conditions where it's just not quite as cold. It has a great little ponytail hole in it, which I love. And I have a second pair of gloves as well. These are glove liners, so they're thin, but they give me you know, that rubber grip so I can adjust my camera. And I have a sun hat in case it's sunny. Goes with the sunglasses. I also have these, I have two buffs. These are great because if it's windy but it's not that hot, my hair starts to blow in my face. It drives me absolutely nuts, and that helps keep it out of my face. And to that end, I also have a hairband and lots of little hair rubber bands, which are invaluable. They're also great for, you know, if something breaks, you can tie it back together with a hair rubber band. I have a plamp, which is really noisy because it's getting old, but I use this for macro photography. I will clip one end to my tripod, clip the other end to a flower, and you know, I can hold the stalk of the flower very gently and make sure that I'm not doing any damage to the flora, but I can bring it right where I want it in front of my lens. It's a cool little trick. I have a bag of toiletries, and I have a reflector, also great for macro, and a lot of times I'll use that in conjunction with the plamp, connect it to the plamp to filter the light on a flower or some other small object that I'm photographing. So in the main compartment, I have mostly camera gear. This is the good stuff. I have two cameras. I have a 5D Mark III, which is a full frame camera, and a 7D, which is a 1.6 crop. I have lenses on both of those, and I have one more. I'll talk about that in a minute. The cameras, first of all, I need a backup in case something happens to one of the cameras and I need to have something to shoot with. That's happened before, and it is not a good feeling to be stuck without a backup camera. A crop factor camera gives me a little bit more length to a lens, so it's a great thing to have. And the crop factor camera also lets me minimize my hyperfocal distance when I'm using a wide angle lens. The wide angle lens I have on it now is a 10 to 22 millimeter. It's really nice and wide on this crop factor camera, and like I said, it gives me a lot of extra to work with in terms of hyperfocal distance. That wide angle lens does not work on this camera, but all the other lenses do. This is a 180 millimeter macro. It's my favorite lens. Absolutely love it. And down here I have a 24 to 70, which is great for mid-range. What's really nice about shooting with your husband or a partner is that we can share each other's lenses. So in Jay's bag, I get 3 more lenses whenever I need them. We also have an extender and some other equipment that I can use, and we trade back and forth all the time. I also use some filters when I'm working. I use a circular polarizer, which is great for removing glare off of water. And I use a system of filters called graduated neutral density filters for reducing the range of light. When I'm working with sunrises and sunsets, I can bring down the brightness of the sky without reducing the brightness of the foreground. And those fit neatly into this great little holder, which fits onto my lens. I have 3 graduated neutral density filters, and then I have 1 neutral density filter, which I love to use for shooting waterfalls. It slows down the shutter speed. I get a really nice, smooth look to the water. And all that goes in my handy dandy little carry case, which I designed myself. Thank you very much. All right. I also have a towel, which was absolutely invaluable this morning when we were hiking in the woods and getting sopping wet. I use this to dry my camera, but not for cleaning my lenses. For cleaning lenses, I have a ridiculous number of lens cloths, because I really like to have clean lenses, and because they tend to get wet, soak up water, so I want to use a dry one. And then I have a remote release. This is a very simple, basic remote release. It's much cheaper than the programmable releases. Jay has one of those, so we don't need 2. Doesn't make sense for us each to have one. I also have a lens pen. I used to use this a lot more often, but it's a great tool for brushing dust off your lens, and it also has a little cleaner on the other end, which is kind of cool. Useful when you have a smudge on your lens. I have a couple of batteries that I keep charged as much as possible. I carry 4 batteries all the time, 1 in each camera and 2 extras. I charge those pretty much every day, maybe every other day while we're on the road, and I make sure the night before we travel that I have those all charged. And I also have in my bag, I carry 4 cards. I have 4 different memory cards, a couple of 32 gigs, an 8 gig, maybe a 4 gig, which is just a backup. I don't carry that many. A lot of people carry a lot more than that, but I'm constantly backing up to my computer, and I really don't take thousands of shots on a trip. So I think that's everything. Yeah, this is what it takes to get the job done. I don't like to carry more than I have to, and I like to make sure that I can get home in one piece. If I'm too tired, if I have to carry too much more gear, I'm not going to make it back.